Hi, everybody. This is going to be our last artwork assignment for the semester. It's called One Point Perspective, and it's going to allow you to make your art look like it's got depth, like you can actually walk into it, and it's going to make everything look 3D. So, what you're going to need is a piece of paper. Okay, I have drawing paper, 9 inches by 12, or you could just use regular printer paper if that's all you have. You'll need a ruler. Notice what my ruler says. And you're going to also need just a regular pencil. Okay. An eraser always is nice to have handy. I'm just going to use the eraser at the end of my pencil here. So to get started, we need to have a vanishing point in the middle of our paper. That's where everything's going to kind of funnel down into. So in order to find the center of the paper, I'm actually going to switch to a longer ruler I have here because it reaches from one corner to the other. If you do have something that has a straight edge that's nice and long, a box or something, anything that's long, you can actually make one continuous line. Otherwise, you'll have to use a shorter ruler. And you're going to make these guidelines very light. All the lines you make here are going to be very light because they're only guidelines. They are lines that guide you. They're not going to be necessarily part of your art. Okay. Now for every other line, I should be able to use my shorter ruler. All right, so in the center, that's the vanishing point. Very lightly make a little dot. That's where everything is going to kind of funnel down into, and it's going to give your artwork a 3D effect. The first thing I want to do is make the back wall of the room. So instead of getting too technical and measuring, I'm just going to have you draw a line from, right around the center-ish, a line that goes vertically down and that connects from one guideline to the other, and about the same distance outside from the vanishing point. So 2 lines vertically, and then connect them horizontally. It might not be perfectly matched up, but just close enough is good enough. So now this one doesn't match up perfectly, but that's okay. I'm going to use it anyway. So mine goes outside a little bit. Okay, so this is going to be our back wall. And we're going to start off by making the floor. The floor is going to be kind of a checkered pattern. I'm going to roughly break this triangle up into 3 parts. So I'm going to put a line right around here. I'm going to put a line right around here into the vanishing point. So I just kind of made a little mark to go by. And from the vanishing point, I'm making a very light line to the bottom of the paper. From the vanishing point, I'm making a very light line to the bottom of the paper. So you're breaking up this triangle into 3 parts. And now at this point, I really don't need these guidelines, so I'm going to erase them so we don't get confused. The less lines, the better. And then I'm going to make a line that runs horizontally, and we're going to break the floor up into that checkered kind of pattern. And this one's going to be pretty close to the back wall, and this one is going to be far away. So again, I'm not going to have you measure, but this line does get pretty close to the back wall, and this line is going to be pretty close to the front of your paper. So I always use the factory cut, I call it, the edge of the paper, to line my ruler up with so I know if it's pretty straight. And I'm going to lightly make a horizontal line. And then here, as straight as you can get, very light, make your line in case you need to adjust it. And we are going to definitely be erasing a lot of parts. Okay, so that's the floor. Just so we don't get too confused, I'm going to make the checkered now so we do know that it's a floor. So just very lightly shade it in. Some of this will end up getting erased anyway. Okay, so that's going to be our checkered floor. Next, we're going to do a window over here. So a window, the top and the bottom are going to angle down towards the vanishing point. So I'm going to make my horizontal lines first. This horizontal line closer to the edge, vertical. This vertical line closer to the edge of the paper is going to be longer than this vertical line. Because when things get closer to you, they get larger, just like the floor is getting larger as it's getting closer to you. When things are closer to the vanishing point, they get smaller. So I'm kind of, again, lining it up with the edge of the paper, very lightly making a vertical line. And then my angled lines are going to match up with the vanishing point. So I don't really even have to draw a line clear through my room. I can just draw the line at the top of the window, line the vanishing point up with the ruler, line on the bottom of the window, and that's the top and the bottom. And just erase any lines that went beyond it. Excuse me. Now I am going to put crisscross into the window, just kind of break up the window space so it looks like there's panes of glass there. Any line that's running this way has to get matched up with the vanishing point. Okay, which is pretty much straight there. Now you could add trim, you can add curtains, you can add details. We're just doing a simple 1-point perspective. Again, you can see my little mistake here. So we're just kind of experimenting with 1-point perspective. You don't have to add all the fancy details until if you want to, you can do them later on or after you practice a lot. The next thing we're going to add is just a simple light hanging from the ceiling. So I'm going to put my ruler down on my paper, match it up with the vanishing point, pretty straight up and down, and lightly draw a line that goes lower than my square. So it goes right into my square. And this is going to be a light that hangs from the ceiling, so you can make any kind of light you want. Okay, and of course you can make it fancy later on, adding details, up to you. You can add a chain if you'd like. You know, those are things that you can add later on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add artwork. Now, artwork is going to hang on this back wall. And we're going to keep the vanishing point, but at this point you can just erase these guidelines that you first put on. But keep your vanishing point, you're going to need that. You always need your vanishing point when you add more details for objects. Okay, so on the back wall, I'm just going to kind of simply sketch a piece of artwork that's hanging. Okay, you determine if you want artwork or a mirror or something like that. Now this we don't have to line up with the vanishing point because it's just on the flat back wall. And again, I'm not getting too worried about the measuring. I'm going to make a little frame, just kind of freehand it in there. Everything's light. Keep your pencil light until you know you have it right. This way you can erase things easy enough later on. And just say I'm going to do a quick little horizon line with the sun setting, a little stream coming out and getting closer or bigger as it gets closer to us. And just a simple little piece of art. You can add a little bureau. If you add a bureau, it's pretty easy because everything's flat. It's coming up off the floor. You will see the side of it though, actually. You'll see the side. From the vanishing point, you want to bring a line that goes down to the bottom of the little dresser, and the top from the vanishing point to the top of the dresser. And this side, from the vanishing point, a little angled line. Okay, put the side in, the bottom in, and then you can make your drawers. And then, of course, you would erase these lines, the guidelines, you don't need them anymore. And everything inside, you don't see through the dresser. And you can put little items on top and whatnot. You can also trace with Sharpie, you can add color. I'm going to grade you on the black and white drawing, okay, that we already have here. You can shade things in if you'd like. Shading is always nice. It adds to the 3D effect. And then this next part is going to be optional. I'm going to draw a bed right here. So furniture is something you can add more of if you'd like. The bed that I add is going to be optional. This is the part that you'll get graded on, okay? So I'm just going to kind of quickly make a little bed, and I do have to use this vanishing point, and the bed's going to be against this wall here. So from the vanishing point, I'm making a line. That's going to be the side of the bed. Say I want my bed about this wide, so right around here, I'll make another vanishing or another line from the vanishing point down. And then I have to make a very small slice. So I'm very slowly and carefully going to move my ruler over just a little bit, because that's going to be the edge of the bed that we see. Here I'm just going to bring the bed down. I'm going to draw a line. Again, I'm just going to kind of go through this fast because this is optional. Here's my bed, the front of it. So here's the tricky part. It's a very simple slice of bed here. So we keep this line from that was from the vanishing point. We put a little straight line down, a straight line down, and then connect these two. So this little slice is the tricky part. And then I would erase. I actually didn't need this line. That was extra. And then I would erase this. And if I want my bed right up against the back wall, I would darken that line in. And then, of course, you don't see the floor through it. Erase all that inside. So again, the furniture, the one thing I will ask you to do is this little dresser. But the bed itself, you don't have to. Unless you want to play around with it and add it. So these are the lines I would keep. I would probably put little little feet underneath my bed to lift it up off the floor. And any other detail that you want to add, like pillows, comforter, stuff like that. There's a little pillow right here. Another little pillow right here. You can always add those things in. So, have fun with it up until the point that you get frustrated. You don't have to add all the bed and the pillows and stuff. But I do ask that you put in the floor, the window, the light hanging from the ceiling, the artwork, and this little dresser here. Okay, the bed is going to be optional. You can even put another window over here if you'd like. Okay, so have fun. This is 1-point perspective. Everything is funneling into the vanishing point. And of course, you want to erase the vanishing point.